Okay, so this is Frances Queller asking you questions. So, as an attorney, I have a lot of wonderful people who ask me the same questions, and I want to just tell you what are the big questions that come up.
Fine.
Number one, if you're getting a Jewish divorce, correct?
Correct.
Do you have to get it done by an Ashkenazi divorce rabbi, a Sephardic divorce rabbi?
Well, Sephardic, again, there are many Ashkenazi rabbis who are qualified both in Ashkenazi and Sephardi gets. So those are the ones you would go to. They do have excellent Sephardi Batei Dinim, and a Sephardi person can go to their Batei Din if they want to. That's also acceptable.
How can you, from beginning to end, tell me, how does the get process work? Is it a drawn out, month-long, painful process?
The get process has been simplified. The Bet Din gets together, the husband and wife come down, the sofer is there, they authorize the sofer to write the get is written, it takes about 25 minutes, the husband gives the wife the get, and once she receives the get, she's divorced.
What happens when you're in a situation where the husband does not want to give the wife the get?
So that's when things get a little bit more complicated. We speak to the husband, we try to placate him, we try to find out what the issues are. We might recommend the couple go to court and let the court, through the New York State get law, require a get to be given.
The court does have a New York State law for the
Yes,
gets.
for gets.
Excellent.
And you have to be familiar with that because the plaintiff has to give the get, so you have to make sure that the husband is the plaintiff. We also utilize the services of Get Ora, an excellent organization that helps in these type of situations.
What's the spelling of the organization?
Get, G-E-T, Ora, O-R-A.
And they have a website.
And they have a website.
Okay.
They're located in
Do you recommend that couples, Orthodox couples, get a prenuptial agreement mandating that they outline what the get procedure would be like?
Well, the prenuptial agreements don't really outline the get procedure, just simply says they'll go to a Bet Din and resolve it. The Rabbinical Council of America is very much in support of the prenuptial agreements. Some Orthodox rabbis are a little bit skeptical. It's a situation that cannot hurt to have.
With the get, there's concern about the validity of the witnesses. Who are the witnesses? Are they strangers? Are they family members? Are they relatives?
The witnesses have to be two people who are not related to each other, not related to the couple who are shown.
It's always a big issue for the families. They're divorcing. They already have financial, things to worry about. What is the going rate for a get?
Our Bet Din charges $400, and if it's not affordable, there are ways to deal with that issue and make it. No one has ever turned down because they cannot afford it.
And all kidding aside, is an $1,800 get a higher quality get? Is it more royal? Is it more privileged than a $400 get?
Not at all.
How soon can a woman or man remarry after you get a get? So if you get a get at noon, when can you remarry?
The halacha says that a woman can remarry after 3 months.
So 90 days from the get, you can remarry.
It's actually 92 days.
Interesting. Okay, great. So she can legally, civilly, and religiously remarry 90 days later.
The reason is because it took 3 months to know if she's pregnant or not. So we wanted to make sure that we had an understanding as to who the father of the child would be if she was pregnant.
So interesting.
And the rule is also that if she just recently...
Somebody my age.
The rule, well, they don't make a distinction. Yeah. And the rule is that if she recently had a child, she can get remarried only once the child turns 2.
Because?
Because women used to nurse, and very often used to nurse till age 2. Mm-hmm. And if she remarries, the husband may say, I want you to stop nursing in order to be able to have children, because women who often nurse cannot have children, and therefore it will put the child that she has at risk because it will deny that child the ability to nurse from the mother. So therefore there was a restriction put by the rabbis that she could not get married until the child.
What happens if a woman just decides to get remarried? She's just fed up and does not want to deal with obtaining the get. What if she just wants to remarry?
Well, if she wants to remarry, we would need to, again, she's not allowed to remarry Jewishly. So an Orthodox rabbi would not perform such a wedding. We've had cases, and this is taking your website, this goes beyond the scope of the website. We have cases where we examine the validity of the marriage. And if
Okay.
the marriage is not kosher, then she doesn't need a get.
Extreme divorce. Got it.
Well, we have many cases, for example, many cases from people from the former Soviet Union that when they got married in the Soviet Union, the rabbi was not really proficient in the knowledge of how to perform a wedding. Very often the witnesses were uncles and cousins and blood relatives.
Interesting.
So those weddings were not technically kosher. There was a movement afoot a few years ago to remarry all these people kosher. We put a stop to it. And the reason we put a stop to it is because in case they got divorced and the husband would not give a divorce because he really they didn't have a strong faith, we could nullify the marriage because it wasn't kosher. Had the rabbi successfully remarried all these people, we would have lost that option and we would have caused more harm than good. So it enabled us to sometimes, in some cases, when the husband refused to give his wife a get, we simply say, well, technically you're not married anyway, she doesn't need a get. And instead of the husband sticking it to the wife, we stick it to the
I want
husband.
to thank you so much. This was super informative. And I want to say that I'm personally an example and founder of the FK Law Group, but I'm also personally an example of someone who utilized this service and this time, and you were my assistant for 5 whole minutes of this very frustrating process. And looking back, now that I'm a proud mother and homeowner and business owner, and I could not tell you I made the best decision of my life to close a chapter and open a new one. With that being said, do you have any, final words of advice or wisdom that you'd like to share with specifically to women? Because that's who calls me 90% of the time with regards to getting a Jewish divorce.
I would say that, if you're looking to get divorced, you should definitely consult an Orthodox rabbi. There are excellent rabbis out there who are quite empathetic and concerned with what's your best interest and can guide you and can help you in the most trying times in a very respectful fashion, and you should utilize their services and the support they offer.
And you say this even if they had a conservative marriage or reform marriage.
Makes no difference.
They should still go Orthodox for the get for the
Correct.
divorce.
Correct.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.